Hello, guys. Welcome back to Christianity Reloaded. Today we are looking at two, similar topic about, Islam worshiping the same God as the Jews and Christians, and we are looking at if Islam Muslims believe in one God or the same God as a Christian God or the Jewish God. You know what I mean? We're just looking at whether they worship the same God as Christian God or Jewish God, or they believe in the same God. But I think I'm gonna start with the worshiping the same God. If some Christians that say that Muslims and Christians worship the same God, I think some of them are unmindful of the real Islam. You know what I mean? Because for you to make that statement about worship, because first of all, you're gonna define what worship means. You can't just say that somebody is worshiping the same God with you if you don't know what really worship means. And if two religion like Islam and Christianity, they define worship in different way. But I'm talking about Christian worship. You know what I mean? Because if you're gonna declare that the Muslims and the Christians worship the same God, you will apply that to other heretical sect in Christianity, like Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses. You cannot say like that Christians and Mormons worship the same God. Or sometimes you cannot even say like Jehovah's Witnesses and Christians worship the same God. If you're gonna say that Muslims and Christians worship the same God, you should be able to say that these organizations I mentioned worship the same God. And this leads me to the idea of belief in the same God. Yeah, this one, when you talk about belief, I can accept that most Muslims and Christians believe in one God, because if you ask a Muslim or a Jew whether he believes that there's a creator that created the world, they're gonna say yes, and that creator is God. All of them will agree. Nobody will disagree in this belief. But what I have problem is when you talk about worship. That's what I don't agree with. Even though the Catechism of the Catholic Church, there's a document, but it's an official church document, but it's not like a dogma that if you go to that document, they say that the Christians and Muslims worship the same God. But I think the people that wrote the document might not have the same the full picture. You know what I mean? Because sometimes if you don't know the full picture, you can just based on something you hear or don't do much research. But now, because of internet and other stuff, people can really research and even hear from the Muslims. Because if you say that they worship the same God, first of all, the Muslims say that God is not a spirit. You know what I mean? And they say that God have a hand, two right hands. You know what I mean? This is not a definition of Christian God. How can you say that somebody that worships something like that believe that he has two right hands and that he has a shin, that is not a spirit? How can you say that they are worshiping the same person? Because in Christianity, God is a spirit. But in Islam, God is not a spirit. But some people will try to go around it, you know what I mean? Say like this is an idea of theology, how the nature of God. But if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna say that like worship, you're gonna talk about belief, not worship. Because now, like in Africa, some of African traditional religion, they believe in God or in gods, but they believe in spirit being, that there is among the gods, there is the one that is most powerful. And they're gonna sacrifice to small gods, and they will sacrifice for the supreme being they believe, which you look at Muslims, you see how they go and kiss a black stone, and they believe they're worshiping God. You know that they're worshiping this Christian God and kissing black stones. You know what I mean? If you're gonna say that they worship the same God as Christians, you're gonna say that the pagans in Africa, in my part of Africa, then worship the same God. You know, there's no difference. You know what I mean? So I think the idea of worshiping the same God with the Muslims, they have covered. I don't think Christians are talking about worshiping, but we're supposed to call them. We believe in the same God, which is different than worship, because people don't even see the picture of the full picture of Islam, and beside their God, the name of their God, which they must call, is not even a Christian name of a God. You know what I mean? So we can say that we believe in the same God, even if they have wrong idea of that God, but we can agree. But for worship, no. In my own opinion, you know what I mean? Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our video. Peace.